Back with full auto Nervier, possibly one of the most unfun bosses to play against. Truthfully though, it is a rather well designed boss, it just sucks dealing with everything she throws at you. The minimum score to get is 12k and we will be doing our best to reach that. I have a budget team and then an invested team. For this, my budget team will consist of farmable units and units available to new players through the selectors. Let's go ahead and check them out. Seriously, Han Sorim is a godsend for this boss. Especially her rearm, well, only really her rearm version. That little circle you see around her prevents units from getting blinded, and that stupid floating tower likes to blind all your ground units. So this makes this boss so much simpler. Just running her as your. It would be nice to run Rivet as the lead, but honestly, you're going to be missing everything anyways. So for consistency, it'd just be better to run Han Sorim. And I like to use mainly Rangers here for this fight, or units that will sit in Han Sorim's little aura. Now granted, Jane doesn't sit in it, but she does enough damage that it really doesn't matter when she does hit. It'd be awesome if we could sit there and keep her, unblinded. But with Rivet and Han Sorim sitting right under where that tower spawns, they mow that thing down really quickly to a point that, Jane just kind of stays unblinded. Now, Tempest is a really good ship for this. I did do this with a couple other ships, testing them out. Matador, Blue Bridge, they're both good ships, but Tempest just, the cooldown lines up with the boss's ulti to sit there and protect your team, so it just works really well for this. Besides that, I mean, Jane works as a pretty good front line with her reactor. She may die, but usually she doesn't in most cases. But yeah, pretty quick 12k right here. Now, Han Sorim and Rivet are obviously going to be top DPS because, they're fighting all the ads, but Jane's really the carry here, having roll advantage and everything. For the budget team, I'm using Tempest as a ship, with Kim Hana as the operator. Attack speed, operator would probably be better here, or crit damage. For gear, Administrator Rifleman, we are, no sword fighters. We want to have on our tankiest gear, crit res, ground res, whatever we can sit there and fit onto her. Rivet, we want anti-ground damage or anti-ranger damage, a mixture of both. Alkalites, we want on either A-speed gear or healing enhancement gear. Han Sorim, which is our crutch here, we want on the same thing as Rivet, anti-ground damage, range damage, anti-ranger damage, all work here. Same for Rifleman, we want on anti-ground, anti-ranger, or range damage. Shieldman, we want on tanky gear, to be honest. As you can see, I don't really have gear on them. They do a pretty good job at this percentage, but they'll definitely need more if you raise the percentage with this team. Jane Doe, we want on anti-ranger for sure, anti-ground. Melee damage also works, crit damage works as well. And Tarask, depending on your percentage, you want on anti-ground or anti-ranger. This is definitely not an easy fight on auto at all. On experts, this is really unfun to watch, actually. Horizon really doesn't do a great job clearing out these edges. I mean, she does decent, but she doesn't really do it that fast. You need something to protect your ship because that sniper will pretty much three-shot your ship. So we have to sit here and use Horizon to sit there and frontline it for a little bit. We can sit there and try to use Dino, but frontline, but it's just, it gets troublesome using that with that stupid sniper. So we're just gonna sit here and use Horizon for the most part. Now, if your Horizon dies before your Dino spawns, it's usually a good point to restart. You kind of need a Horizon to tank a few shots just so that your Dino, your Dino doesn't get blasted right off the bat. We need it to lose some HP, but it can actually potentially get one shot here. And then you just don't ever get your passive proc. But with the ultimate, we get to reset our passive hit count. So Dino gets to live, a little bit longer, and that's cool. And with Currian here, Currian's okay. Especially seeing as Vivian doesn't affect Horizon. I kind of wanted to throw something in here that actually made sense, I guess you could sit there and say. But Horizon does pretty good damage to the boss, and we get a little Dino ulti here, and Dino passes out. But other than that, we just cleaning up the last little bit of ads. Horizon will do a decent job tanking usually for the most part because she gets her own vulnerability shields, and we get a guest appearance from Daddy at the end here. Now, as you can sit there and see from the damage spread here, Horizon definitely, doing a good job carrying, and Dino's doing a wonderful job getting us back or up to the boss. Here for the invested team, I'm running New Detroit. You definitely need the attack speed, and Vivian with a speed side skill. And this isn't called an invested team for nothing. Sigma, we're running on our fastest CDR gear. We need the DP as quickly as possible. Horizon, we're running a mixture of anti-ranger and anti-ground damage. Melee damage, I'm a little iffy on. It's better, obviously, for the end goal, but just flat damage would probably be better. Horizon, we have on our tankiest gear. We want 50% crit res, we want as much anti-ground res, and we need to pray for RNG. Ironside, I actually have on CDR. I was trying Acolytes. I didn't really have great success because they're just really slow to walk up and Horizon runs the hell off, but as much skill haste as possible, Ironside actually buffs Dino. Speaking of which, I have on full A-Speed Swift, almost 50% A-Speed here, and that almost felt like it wasn't enough. Currian, just put on damage gear, as much damage as you could possibly put on. Anti-ground, range damage, crit damage, anti-ranger, anything you could fit on him. And then for Spencer, we're running our fastest CDR gear we can. We want her spamming her skill as much as possible. Everything on that map is a CO. And then Dorothy's gears really doesn't really matter, but I have her on A speed just for shits and giggles. Thanks everyone for watching. I hope this helps you get the minimum score this season. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're feeling extra special, you could join the Mage Institute by clicking the join button. You can catch me on Discord, link is in the description. And if you want to support this channel, there's a link in the description for that too. And as always, I will see you all next time.